All right, folks. Hi, Eugene here. I started this project, and midway through, I figured I might as well try to share it with you all. And I had purchased a LevelMatePRO, and because I've got the 33 Classic FBQ, my bed is really at the front, and then I have my truck, my F350. It's got the long bed. I wasn't really sure if I'd be able to have the signal all the way out in the driver's seat. And even if it did, I felt that where the router is, if you're familiar with the 33 front bed, whether you've got a queen or a twin, I'm assuming that's why you're watching this video, is you're probably looking for a good placement for it. I didn't want to have it in the middle and have that much range. I wanted it to be accurate. I didn't want to have any issues. And I felt that where the router was probably the best placement for it. Unfortunately, there's no outlet there, as you know. And there's no additional USB pieces there. So I decided to create my own. This is a video to walk you through some of that. So I went ahead and I opened up the panel over here where the router is. So I'm just go ahead and show you that. So right here, typically you have this facing up, and then you have your router attached to it. So I removed all the screws, the 3 that's there. I turned it off because I didn't want to do any issues to the electronics by sparking anything, in the sense that I am working with power here, 12-volt power. It's going off of your battery. And I see in the fuse circuit box here, there's plenty of other spaces. So I went ahead and right here I purchased show you, it's a 2-amp fuse, right? So I went ahead and purchased a 2-amp fuse, and if I get a better photo here, went ahead and placed it at this further empty available spot. You do have the option of placing it in the middle as well. Not only is this area used to power your router, but you also have your tire pressure monitoring system set up is also back here as well, in case you're ever wondering where that is, right? So they have that up front, closer to the driver. I figured, why not have my LevelMate here thing and in the front too, and anything that really needs to talk to the driver or be within close range. I didn't know weather conditions, this, that, and the other. So let's pause from this for a little bit, and I'll show you what I did on the other end. You do have the ability. So in this case, what I decided to do was I wanted to add a USB port, right? So I went ahead and I purchased this USB port. A little bit hard to see. I see lighting issues here. But I'll go ahead and I'll put a link to this in the description below. But I went and it has 2 QC 3.0 ports. It also has a USB port. And then it also gives you the reading of the battery. So you should see about 13 point something here. And I'm probably not going to poke a hole and put this nicely mounted in there. I'll maybe do it at a later time. Just want to make sure that this is really the right design for me before I go ahead and do that. But there is a slot where you could kind of wire it through. So this one, when it arrives, it's just like this. It's not connected to anything. Has this kind of weatherproof cover here, which I'll probably take off. I don't really need it, but I think for the initial install, I'll just leave it there, and then I'll find another time to take it off. And then they give you two cables, right? Your positive and your negative. There's a little fuse in here. Maybe it's a 0.5, maybe it's 1 amp. I'm not really sure, but there's a fuse in there to make sure your devices don't overcharge, right? You definitely want to have a right-size fuse in there to not send too much power. So I didn't know it came with this, so I went with a 2-amp fuse because the LevelMatePRO, I believe, is up to either 0.5 or 1.5 amps there in terms of the draw. So with that, I figured 2 is good. You could probably get away with a 3. I wouldn't go much higher than that. And I did go to Home Depot, and I purchased these female disconnects, right? So 2216 gauge is what it'll be right for. And I believe the cables that they gave me here are, check, let's see, look on the cord here, it should be AWG 18. So 18 gauge. I was probably even gonna grab myself a 22, or you could even go higher. Nothing wrong with an 18 gauge wire there. So I picked that up. When it arrived, however, it did have this kind of slide-on connection on one end. However, the other end had had more of like the battery style terminal where you go over a battery. So it had that. I didn't want to use this. So I went ahead and got my pliers here, went ahead and cut the end of it off, and then that's when I use my disconnects that I grabbed from Home Depot. Unfortunately, I had these. Luckily enough, you don't have to run out to Home Depot and get them. It did come with, here we have it here, 2 connections. So it came with 2 of the blue slide-on connections that I could have put on it and crimped it. So, right, take off some of the metal pieces there. I did for 18 gauge, slide on your piece, and then you want to crimp it down. All right, so next step here. All right, a little hole here, feed it through. Great, let me go grab it. Alrighty, let's plug in the red. Great. All right, and then now all the power comes to this silver area over here. You could slot it into anyone, no preference. Since I see them all using the bottom, and there's one here, I don't know, symmetry, slight OCD, I'm just going to follow the next one in line, and that's where I'm going to plug mine into. All right, so let's seat that down in there. Use this other hand just to make sure. There we go. All right, nice and snug. And then now I could go ahead and put the wires back. So, I'm sorry, the screws. So let's tuck everything nicely in here. All right. Tuck, 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 tuck. All right. Airstream didn't do the greatest cabling job. Oh, you know what? I would have probably liked to have put it in there. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to correct this so that I can get the wire in there so that this can go seat nicely in that hole that they have created. All right. So I'll be right back. Welcome back. Went ahead and put the screws back in. I now have this. I wired it correctly. I'll show you that as well, as you can see there. And now I'm going to go ahead and connect it up and turn it on. So we got 1. We've got 2. Great. All right. As you see, nothing. So now we will go ahead and give the box power. And there we go. Looking at my handy screw work and the gap between the wood there, but I did align it, so we'll just have to deal with how that looks. All right, so I can now go ahead and set up my LevelMatePRO. So as I had mentioned, what you can do is really, you could poke a hole somewhere and then slot it in. It'll sit nice and flush. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get some electrical tape. I'm going to wrap it around maybe up until there, and I'm just going to leave it there, and I'll plug my devices in. And that's where I'll have my LevelMate, because I'm probably going to mount my LevelMate to this box here on the front side, given that the circuit is on the back, and then maybe some other areas where I'll put the hole and then I'll wire it too. But for now, I just want to get it up and running. I've leveled my device, and I'm eager to set up my LevelMate, get that configured, and then I can make a little adjustments here and there in terms of making it look nice and pretty. All right, so there you have it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message. I'm more than happy to help you out. And if you like this video, please give it a like. Thank you very much.